Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today at your Pushback channel. Now, being a new content creator on YouTube and a content creator that espouses non-leftist opinions, views and attitudes, I was not unaware of the talk about how YouTube bans, demonetizes and limits social or political videos and commentaries they SJW disapprove of. Once we had uploaded our first tranche of on about 30 videos in total, we had planned to attract viewers by getting active on social media, using Facebook and similar sites in the first pass, and then backing up with Twitter and similar sites there for the second pass. But in the meantime, this allowed us a golden opportunity to monitor how many views a new, non-leftist political content creator can reasonably get just from YouTube search and comments and trending recommended lists, absent any external social media. Now, I've now experienced this phenomenon firsthand of shadow banning and limited state, and can give you all the gory details. So this short essay is in some ways my experience of how YouTube blocks and suppresses non-leftist views. Keep in mind this refers particularly to YouTube subject or video title searches, recommended lists, comments and trending. The 5 main triggers for YouTube censors to swing into action appear to be opposing or not fully supporting illegal immigration or forced mass migration to the West, any opposition to or not fully supporting feminist or transgender issues or gay lesbian issues, any opposition to or not fully supporting black radical activism, questioning or exposing the sham that is the mainstream media globalist narrative, or any positive support of President Trump. We'd uploaded, I think, 24 vids at the time of writing this script, so we had a decent spread of material to monitor, and then we spent a lot of time going over the analytics and splicing the time periods and crunching the stats generally. And what we found was illuminating. As far as we were concerned, our vids were not overly controversial, and we'd been careful to avoid things like profanities, any direct slurs against the living, and avoided getting sort of name-type personal in the vids. Yet as best we can tell, we have been heavily and systematically censored, which seems unusual given we're just starting out. All of our vids were hidden from viewers and were effectively non-accessible via search and recommended view lists in the US, Britain, Canada and most of Europe, and even as well as parts of Australia for 20 hours a day. In some cases it was blanket bans for a full 24 hours. As an example, the day I'm writing this script, we've had 0 views across 22 vids for just 19.5 hours, and our vids do not appear in any recommended lists and do not appear in the title searches. To throw you off the time window for the blocking appears to rotate, as does the region, so the time and the regions are rotating here. So today it's Vietnam, for example, that can see our vids, but tomorrow it's not Vietnam and it's Borneo or Malaysia or somewhere like that. The vids are visible in Vietnam from the morning on one day, but only visible during the afternoon on another day. Similarly, most views from North America and Britain come in between midnight and 4 a.m. in the time zone of those areas. And as you can guess, that's small numbers. So few, if any, views are recorded outside of these time windows, again in the search and recommended lists. Using the Google AdWords time zone and geographical regional control architecture, YouTube limits, and this is all without your knowledge or consent, by the way, YouTube limits which regions of the globe can see your vids and the times and hours per day they are viewable or accessible, and the extent to which they are accessible, like in how many search results and recommended lists and so on, in those particular regions and over those time zones. So our vids are fully available in 24/7 some days in places like Borneo or Vietnam, but are heavily restricted in all English-speaking areas and Europe. That is, we are being purposefully shut out of our main market of viewership. In addition, YouTube, it seems, hides and blocks comments content creators make or receive. This varied over the days, as comments would appear for part of the day, then disappear for 2 days, and then reappear and disappear again. The objective appeared to be to ensure the comment was nowhere near the top of the list. It seems there is also a considerable and deceptive shadow banning aspect to all this. When we log into the YouTube account, all seems well, all comments are visible, all our vids appeared as they should in searches and recommended lists. But when we logged in via a colleague's account at the same time, or just as a general user, the comments were gone and the vids were not accessible or visible in exactly the same searches we'd used only moments ago. Even using the exact title of the vid in a search from YouTube search bar found at best our vid would get 25 or 30, 40, even 50 places down the stack, or even a lower ranking while titles that may have only had 1 or 2 words from the 5 words in the search were getting top billing. The blatant emphasis in support of the leftist anti-Trump globalist narrative is obvious. MSNBC, HuffPost and Guardian and so on were always getting top billing in these, what we believe are stacked deck searches. However, when we log into the YouTube account, the search results put our vids at the top, as they should do, in an exact word search match. So this demonstrates, to us at least, the clear and present extent of the shadow banning and what some may say is the breathtaking level of deception being employed. Now, Mark Dice did a good vid on various aspects of this same topic, as did Dave Cullen from Computing Forever, and I'll leave the links below for you to have a look at. Shadow view numbers appearing on each vid also seem to be an issue. That is the count or the number of views your video supposedly got. Like the AdWords scam that was reported in the media a while ago with fake bot views on each ads for which people had to pay for during certain times in the 24-hour cycle, we recorded many instances of one alleged view for each of our vids synchronising on the hour over several hours that all appear to be 20 plus vids at the exact same moment. The length of the view in each case appears to be exactly 30 seconds, so it's obviously bot driven. The only purpose of this bot-driven fake views, we assume at least, is to dupe the content creator into thinking they are receiving genuine views, thus concealing the fact that the vids are actually being blocked or shadow banned in some way. It's deceptive in almost a juvenile way. You can imagine a young sort of SJW undergraduate dreaming that one up, and it's very leftist in its mentality. The problem I and perhaps many other content creators have with all this is that Google YouTube is, if this behaviour is as it seems, then they are a direct participant and advocate in the news and political space and cycle, yet they pretend otherwise, and all the while trying to cover it up with denials and what many may see as covert, clandestine censorship behaviour rather than direct censorship, which they also engage in. But why be so furtive? If such censorship is a good thing, be open about it. If it's not such a good thing, stop doing it. If you have a product or service out there in the public space, be upfront about what the product is. Don't pretend it's something that it's not. Vids exhorting activists to end the mortality of all white people seems quite acceptable to YouTube censors, as are vids viciously condemning and defaming the president and his staff. Vids with remarkably graphic sexual material appear unaffected by the censors, as are gory animal snuff vids where terrified, tethered, screaming animals are stage-managed fed to carnivores. All these seem to be acceptable viewing for the censors. But even question for a moment the globalist agenda, no matter how cerebral, factual and polite you are, and the vid is put into various forms of limited state or pulled completely. So what's going on here? Only a monopoly could behave with such undergraduate arrogance. But it's not good enough. Google, in my view, must be completely transparent about their policies with clear, detailed, codified guidelines. They can limit or ban whoever they want, but they must show full and detailed cause, I believe, for such action and clearly show how the content creator, in the view of Google, transgressed the policies. And further, Google must be consistent in applying these policies. Leftist and Trump hate vids for that matter, or all vids, must be held to the same standard. You've been with Tacitus Today. We hope you found this video informative and thank you for watching.